ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this a very special edition of News Talk with yours truly, Chris Anu, and as usual, coming to you from the great state of Texas, Houston, Texas, to be precise. You've been watching there for about the past 2 hours, a press conference. They call it an international press conference taking place in Paris, France, by Issa Tchiroma, organized by Issa Tchiroma, addressing the international media of the fraud that took place in the elections in Cameroon, and also appealing to the international community, which is why they call it an international press conference, appealing to the international community to formally take up the case of Cameroon. Whether they speak to listening ears remains to be seen. Whether anything will be done further from this, again, that remains to be seen. But in a few minutes, I will bring you my analysis of the event going on in Paris, what was said, and what they are looking forward to, what they hope will be the outcome of this conference that they organize in Paris. I will be joined very soon with a panel that will discuss this important press conference, ladies and gentlemen, in Paris. So please stay tuned. I will be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms. Your audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level.
Are you ready to unlock the power of AI? Mastering AI Tools, a practical guide to ChatGPT and OpenAI, is your ultimate gateway course to harnessing AI in your career or studies. Provided by Pascal Presentations LLC, a trusted name in cutting-edge education, this course empowers you with the skills needed to navigate and utilize AI effectively. Whether you're a professional looking to boost productivity, a student wanting to stay ahead, or an everyday person trying to upgrade your knowledge on this transformative technology, this course gives you hands-on experience and practical tools to make AI work for you. Don't wait for the future. Start mastering it today. Enroll now with Pascal Presentations LLC and take the first step towards transforming your potential with AI.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying put out there. Again, this special edition of News Talk, we look at the Paris International Press Conference being organized by Issa Tchiroma's lawyer to sensitize the international community of the election fraud that took place in Cameroon on October 12th this year, and the subsequent repression and killing of citizens and in prisons of activists in Cameroon. Let me bring you what I think about that press conference in my monologue. And again, right after that, I will bring you my team of analysts to look at this, give us their take on what they are watching or what you are watching happening out there in Paris, France. When the lawyers of Cameroonian opposition figure Issa Tchiroma Bakare stepped before the international press in Paris this evening, the stated objective was clear: to internationalize the dispute over Cameroon's contested 2025 presidential election and to challenge, in local terms, the legitimacy of the outcome endorsed by state institutions in Yaoundé. The press conference was carefully branded as an international press conference, hosted in France and aimed at global community. But beyond the prepared statements and legal arguments, the Paris conference revealed something far deeper and far more troubling in that matter about the state of opposition politics in Cameroon. A widening gap between denunciation and direction, between exposure and execution, and between the people's expectations and what the leadership of the movement, the revolutionary movement, is currently offering. At the core of the conference, the press conference in Paris tonight, was the legal narrative advanced by Issa Tchiroma's lawyers, led by Paris-based lawyer Jamal Taleb. The lawyers argued that the officially proclaimed election results do not reflect the will of Cameroonian voters and that alternative tallies from polling stations point to a different outcome. Their contention is that Cameroon's Constitutional Council, rather than serving as an impartial arbiter, function as an extension of executive power, that is, as an extension of the regime in Yaoundé. From an analytical standpoint, the legal strategy makes sense on paper. In authoritarian systems, however, the internationalization of legal disputes is often used to delegitimize domestic institutions and apply external pressure. By shifting the battleground from Yaoundé to Paris, the opposition hopes, or Issa Tchiroma hopes, to erode the regime's image and attract diplomatic scrutiny. Yet Cameroon's recent political history raises an uncomfortable question. Since when? Since when has legal correctness translated into political change under Paul Biya? For more than 4 decades, court rulings, constitutional arguments, and international criticism have coexisted with the regime's survival. The Paris press conference, therefore, looked less like a breakthrough and more like a continuation of a familiar pattern. Strong arguments confronting immovable power in Yaoundé. One of the most emotionally charged segments of the conference focused on political prisoners and post-election repression. Lawyers and activists accuse the Cameroonian state of arbitrarily detaining opposition supporters, invoking anti-terrorism legislation and public order. Public order laws, to criminalize dissent. The discussion took a darker turn in the conference, with references to the death of Issa, the opposition activist who died in detention recently. Though details remain contested and official explanations scarce, the lawyers in Paris frame Issa death as emblematic of Cameroon's carceral system, that is, overcrowded, opaque, and weaponized against political opponents. From an analytical perspective, the emphasis on prisoners and deaths in custody is strategic. It shifts the narrative from electoral arithmetic to human rights, a terrain where the Cameroonian state is far more vulnerable internationally. But here too lies a contradiction. How many names how many deaths, how many prisons must be mentioned before outrage translates into action or consequence in Cameroon? Cameroon's prisons have long been crowded with journalists, activists, Amazonian leaders, and opposition figures. Ekane's death shocked, but it did not surprise anyone. And therein lies the tragedy. Repression in Cameroon has become normalized because nothing happens after that, right? People lament and move on. Despite its international label and its Paris setting, the press conference was conducted entirely in French. This choice exposed a persistent paradox in Cameroonian opposition and elite politics. Cameroon officially claims bilingualism. Its crisis is often framed as one that requires global solidarity. Yet, no deliberate effort was made to address the press in English, not even by English-speaking participants, for the benefit of the wider international audience. That did not happen. This was not a mere linguistic oversight. It reflected a deeper habit of inward-facing politics masquerading as international engagement. In an era, ladies and gentlemen, where narratives are globalized in real time, limiting communication of this magnitude to one language undermines the very objective of internationalization. Symbolically, it also revives long-standing grievances about exclusion, and representation, particularly among Southern Cameroonians or Amazonians, those who still believe in one Cameroon, but also among a global audience for whom English remains the primary medium of diplomacy and advocacy. Several diaspora figures took the floor, most notably writer Calixte Beyala, who framed the struggle or the revolution, as they call it, as continental rather than individual. Her declaration that Africa is rising to reclaim stolen victories resonated emotionally and culturally, reinforcing the idea that Cameroon's crisis is part of a broader African democratic deficit. Other diaspora activists highlighted youth unemployment, forced migration, and international hypocrisy, pointing out that Cameroon remained diplomatically protected despite its democratic failures. Yet beneath the solidarity lay an unspoken subtext, that is fatigue. Diaspora mobilization has been vocal for years, but its impact inside Cameroon remains limited, remains to be seen. Speeches in Paris, no matter how passionate, do not shield protesters in Douala, in Bafoussam or Yaoundé from batons, from bullets or prisons. This is where the Paris conference perhaps unintentionally exposed its greatest weakness. In Paul Biya's Cameroon, a country ruled by the same man for 43 years, legitimacy is not surrendered through argument. It is confronted, as Amazonians do, through action. The regime has mastered the art of absorbing criticism, outlasting outrage, and waiting for movements to exhaust themselves. And then they just go on with impunity. The people know this, and increasingly, the people of Cameroon are asking not who is right, but who is leading. Press conferences are good and essential, but they do not remove regimes, they don't remove dictators. Legal filing do not dismantle patronage networks. International sympathy does not automatically translate into domestic leverage. What Cameroonians are demanding, what Cameroonians yearn for now is action. Action. A coherent strategy that connects legal challenges, civic mobilization, political organization, and international pressure into a single disciplined force. So far, that direction remains elusive. The danger for the opposition or Issa Tchiroma is not repression alone, but drift. A movement without a roadmap risks becoming reactive, symbolic, and eventually irrelevant. The longer the leadership delays articulating a concrete plan of action, the more the regime benefits from inertia. The Paris press conference succeeded, however, in reminding the world that Cameroon's election crisis is unresolved. It's not over. It highlighted prisoners, repression, and deaths in custody. It exposed institutional rot and democratic theft. But history offers a sobering lesson. Authoritarian regimes do not fall because they are exposed. They fall because they are confronted. Cameroon is not short of evidence, victims, or arguments. What it lacks, and what its people are increasingly demanding is leadership that moves beyond conferences into consequence. Until that happens, Paris will remain a stage, not a turning point. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what I gathered from that press conference, which is still going on at this moment, by the way. But I think they have said what they needed to say. Let me bring in my guest for tonight. I am being joined, ladies and gentlemen, by the Honorable Sebastian Mbareku, who religiously followed this press conference in Paris. And I will start with him to kind of summarize what he gathered from that press conference. Good to have you back here, sir.
Thank you, Comrade Chris. It's a pleasure being here again. Yeah, I think let me start from the bottom. I want to say this conference or whatever it's called, I may see it as a sham because first thing, like you said in your monologue, um, the agenda presented by Issa Chiroma is not what is being followed. I can't imagine a conference is being held, even though it's held in Paris, and we have Southern Cameroonians that were present. I'm talking here of Rebecca Inocha and Eric Chinje that could even give a word in English, but they never brought it up. And I think it was all about the sons or the death of late Anika or somebody. Yeah. So most of the time was being wasted talking on it. It was not really waste of time, but I think what Cameroonians want to hear is the way forward, like you said. Rebecca said a lot. She said a lot about the economy, which I will bring in later on. But I think, like you said, this press conference is not really what the people of Cameroon are waiting for. It's not up to their expectation. They want to see action. They want to see what next, and not. And like you said, nothing or no election has ever been taken by law in Africa. Action must be taken for them to get what they want.
That we have seen since the election, an international press conference. Of course, Issa Chiroma himself wasn't there, but at least these lawyers represent a good segment of his organization. Do you think this is a prelude to something they want to undertake?
Well, I think for me, it is uh, probably. some sense of like some positivity moving because Cameroonians were already like, okay, we're done with Issa Chiroma. He's saying nothing, nobody's saying anything. But I think for the lawyers coming up with this press conference, it really energized them and give them some hope that okay, something may be cooking in the background. That's how I look at it.
Rebecca Enochon spoke. I was expecting that she would speak in English. She did not. Eric
She did
Chinde
not.
spoke. I was expecting him to speak in English. He did not. It was French, 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 French. The language of business in the world today, the language of diplomacy in the world today is English. And you
Correct.
organize an international press conference, and it is in French, little French. I don't know. Were they trying to address the French or address the international community?
That is exactly what I don't know. I think our brother, our elder brother Eric Changes he lives in America. He knows English is widely spoken. French is barely spoken in the world. So I don't know why he is going to organize or he's going to be part of a conference that is organized and only French is being spoken as a language and he will accept. I mean, this again, this defeats the point of what Issa Chiroma has been preaching. If Chiroma himself goes out there and makes speeches in English and French, then I mean, they could have given probably Rebecca Inocha or Eric Chinje to bring in their own part of the presentation in English to make it balanced. The whole world speaks English, and that is the transaction language of the world. I don't see why a press conference, even though it was in Paris, even in Paris, the language for everybody there is English and not French. So I don't know why they choose to do this in French.
Did you get me? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
I,
know I was
I did not
muted.
get you. I did not get you.
So I'm asking, did you see anything? Did you see anything motivational to those in Cameroon from this conference? Because if you've been listening to people on the ground, they want direction, they want leadership, they want action. Is this what you think is motivational to them, going by your own opinion or judgment?
Uh, Sorry, there's some noise. I don't know where it's coming from. There's some noise that I heard you were. There's some making noise maybe coming from your end.
Can
Maybe
you
the
hear
team
me?
sounds okay. It's good now. It's good. Yes. Per your question, I think it is. I don't think Cameroonians are moved with this press conference. It was not really out, or it was not really their expectation. People want to see action. They want to hear what is going to happen, what is happening next. It's not about them coming to say, "Oh, we're going to pursue it legally. We're going to pursue it at the international level." It's no longer at national level. It's no longer at. They want to see action. Remember, in one of the shows in ABS, Eric Chinje said before December 25th, Tchiroma is going to be the president of Cameroon, La République du Cameroon. That is what they're expecting to hear. We are not expecting today is this 15th of December, 10 more days to Christmas. And you come here with conferences. I don't think Cameroonians are really interested in conferences like this.
Isn't it possible that this is one of the moves following the promise that Cameroonians will see something December to January? Could this not be one of the moves?
Well, I cannot tell, but there is flying news over social media that Chiroma is being invited by the French President Macron. I don't know what is cooking in the back, but it may be, but he has been saying, "Oh, I don't want bloodshed. I don't want any war. I just want to do it diplomatically and get to the presidency." Maybe something is cooking. We cannot know until it happens.
Let me get to Honorable Chris Ajua with similar questions you have been following. I don't know whether you followed the press conference today, Honorable Chris.
Comrade Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know whether you followed the press conference.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't follow. I was preparing for the main show coming after this. I didn't follow. But from what has been going on right now, the language issue. We know that English is the language of diplomacy. It is the language of international business. It is the language of science and technology. And for this group to go to France and hold a conference and speak totally in French, it really boggles the mind. One would think that the lady that you called Rebecca Enonchong and people like Eric Chinje, who are fluent in English, could have said said something, or at least plan the conference should have been planned in such a way that English people that wanted to express themselves in English would do that. And since this matter is international, that is what they should have done. We know very well that La République prides itself in their so-called multiculturalism and bilingualism. And even Issa Tchiroma himself, when he was the Minister of Communication, he knows very well that that is what La République has been promoting, the so-called bilingualism and multiculturalism. So where is the bilingualism? Where is it? So Rebecca Enonchong and Eric Chinje essentially have gone there to say that what are they doing? Fighting for a unitary to them. It's a they are fighting for the unitary state or whatever, or their so-called federalism. And I think it's kind of like disappointing to look to when you look at matters in that light.
I think we must not fail, though, to give credit to Issa Tchiroma in all his communication. I think all along throughout his campaign, we have seen statement. Every single statement he has put out has been both in French and in English, even from his communication team. But in this case, I think the blame may go to those who organize a press conference, because I don't understand how you organize an international press conference. At the least, I expected English speakers there like Eric Chinje, Rebecca Inonchong to communicate in English. It was all French, as though they were addressing the French society, the French community, not the international community as they wanted us to believe. Let me get to Samuel Thomas. I don't know whether you listened to that press conference. Did you, sir? Good to have you back.
Good afternoon, Comrade Chris, and hi to my fellow panelists. I don't know if you are hearing me.
We can hear you 5 on 5.
Thank you. Well, I did listen to part of the press conference, but like my colleagues have earlier said, what boggles me in my mind was the fact that the entire conference was addressed in French. So the question that I'm asking is, does it mean these guys were going to please the master? And in what way were they going to please the master? Why was France a preferential place for the said conference? If it was an international conference, does it mean only French journalists were invited to attend such a conference? If they claim Cameroon, as they claim, is a bilingual country, where was the bilingualism in their press conference? Anyway, they've just exposed themselves to the international community that Cameroon is not a bilingual country. Secondly, you cannot take your problem, if at all, these guys of La République are serious enough. You cannot take your problem and you are going back to the same person who caused that problem for a resolution of that problem. Then you yourself, you are having a problem. What was wrong with New York as a neutral ground for these people to go and organize such a press conference there, of which everybody in the world, all languages in the world are in New York? What was the problem with New York not to host this conference? Why was France and Paris a preferred area for this type of a conference if these people were not going to please their master? What are they expecting to get out of the master? I hope completely nothing they will get out of it. For the only thing the master is going to tell them is that it's their internal problem, because the master is the person holding the problem, and the only way, as you've earlier said, for La Republic to get out of their present predicament is to get the master out of La Republique du Cameroon. The day La Republican citizens will start to attack the interests of Bolero in La Republique, or generally French interests in La Republique du Cameroon, and send French citizens in La Republique packing, they do not need this type of press conferences to please France. The only language France will understand, and Mr. Biya, which France is keeping in power in La Republique Cameroon, is to threaten French interests in La Republique Cameroon by sending all French citizens in La Republique out of La Republique Cameroon, and Bolero, which is the mastermind of everything that is going on in that country. When these people are sent out, then France will give any damn person in that godforsaken triangle a listening ear. But failure to do that, they are wasting their time. And nobody, let me tell them again, if they are listening to us, nobody in La Republique Cameroon on the ground will give this press conference a pinch of salt. It is worthless. It got no bearing on the ground. It is a waste of people's energy.
Yeah, let's look at it from that language angle. I think it's a big mistake they made there. They made there because you can imagine Sebastien, the entire French community, La République du Cameroun, the country, is listening to it. They know exactly. They can understand what is being said, what is being disclosed, but for a country that championed itself as a bilingual country, how was it all possible to just have that oversight by ignoring? They would have, we're not saying they would have all been addressing this conference in English, but you have English speakers there who would have said, okay, this is what we are trying to say here. This is what we mean. This is what we want. Receive questions in English and answer it. That did not happen, and so the entire population of the entire English-speaking population on the ground didn't know what was going on there. Sebastian.
Yes, Comrade Chris. I think, like I said, I felt so disappointed when Eric Change started speaking. For Rebecca, it was at the beginning. I thought she was going to speak in uh, French and then probably revert to English. I was even surprised that she started with French. When Eric came, I thought Eric was going to speak in English. He started addressing in French. I thought he was going to switch to English. Unfortunately, he continued in French. This completely defeats the purpose of the bilingualism that is preached in the world. That Cameroon is a bilingual country, like you said. Everything that was said there, they just keep repeating the same thing, the same thing, the same thing that we know already. There's nothing new that was spoken there about the 631 million CFA deficit by 2026. That's something that we already know. And the 100 million CFA to be borrowed again, that's things that we know. And what caught my little attention was when one of the lawyers said he spoke to Tchiroma before coming to this conference, and Tchiroma said he made a promise again that he was not going to fail Cameroonians, that he is with them and he is not going to fail them. But again, like we were talking about a language issue, I am really, really disappointed. I think Brother Eric needs to do something. when it comes to conferences like this, he needs to tell them that, listen, this is not about a language, it's not about French alone. It's English is a transactional language used in the whole world. We should do it maybe 80% in French and 20% in English, something like that.
Now let's talk about. You mentioned about uh, Issa Tchiroma being invited to France. I have also heard that from other sources that he is being invited to France to meet with Macron for whatever reason we do not know. But in your mind, what do you think is happening here? I would easily say that perhaps Cameroon has cooked up something with the French, and all they need to do is get the proxy, that is Emmanuel Macron, to sit down Tchiroma and make all the promises. Remember, Cameroon hasn't, Mr. Biya has not named a new cabinet since the elections. And right after the elections, we were being told that Tchiroma was being offered the post of vice president, as reported by Jean Afrique. Could this be the moment when France takes the offers of La République du Cameroun to Tchiroma and said, listen, let's end this now. This is what, this is the rule we would want you to play. Take this position or take this job or do this. Do you see that as being the agenda of the meeting, if there is one?
Yeah, I think I am raising it towards your direction that France want to be a mediator between the CPTM government or the BR scam and Chiroma. If he happens to meet with Macron, I think there's a possibility that Chiroma may accept to join the government. Alternatively, if he sticks to what he said that he won the election, which we know he won, he may not accept. Because he is, in many cases said he doesn't want anything out of Biya being out of the presidency. And the thing we have to know is Chiroma knows that Paul Biya is not the one ruling. That's why he is stiff and he is strong on that. He knows that Gongo and the rest, they are the one ruling La République du Cameroon. And he knows, and France know that that is the problem. So I don't think Chiroma is going to back out. I think he will tell them that, you know, Biya is not the one ruling, and these are the people ruling. So why don't you want me to rule? And I think they may want to arrange the safe exit of all those ministers and say, okay, if we allow you to rule, are you going to allow these ministers? Are you going to do anything with them? People like Atanganji, Ngongo, and so on. Are you going to save them or something? Are you going to keep them safe? So something is going to be cooking that we'll know in the days ahead.
Let me get to the Honorable Chris Ajwa there. Chiroma meeting Macron, that is assuming that is established. What in your mind do you think is going on between La République du Cameroun and the French about this meeting?
Yes, before I answer that question, Honorable, Comrade Chris, let me back up a little bit about the issue of the language. Just very briefly. When this when this conference was taking place only in French, what were they thinking about major organizations and their members like the United Nations? What were they thinking about the African Union?
That's
It means
exactly
all.
why I said English is the diplomatic and business language across the globe, and then you organize an international
Exactly.
press conference and limit
Exactly.
it to irrelevant French.
They count 54 countries in Africa, various languages from Spanish to Portuguese to English to French, maybe other languages. Um, it is as if they totally ignored all those countries when they say 54 anyway. I say 55 because I include Ambazonia as a country in Africa. The matters have to still be resolved anyway. So they totally ignore the international community in a way. Another reason could be because they just wanted to concentrate on France because they know that France is sort of like the puppet master sitting in Champs Elysees in Paris and pulling the strings in Cameroon. They know that. And then they let us now fast forward to the meeting between Macron and Tchiroma. Well, um, there are three for me. There are at least three possibilities that can come out from there. Chiroma may accept everything that the French propose concerning joining the government, or um, participating in the cabinet. He may totally ignore what they are saying and say he is going to go uh, his way, meaning that he insists that he won the election, and for that reason, he is the legitimate and legal president of La République du Cameroon. He could say that. Or the third possibility that I'm seeing is he could give them the middle finger and say, okay, we are going to follow our own rights, I mean our own routes, and that route will for La Republique in general, for the sake of peace in that country, it's not going to be good, because it could result in violence, in deaths, in even including even a civil war. So we don't know how things are going to turn out, but let them complete their meeting, and then we maybe give the world a communique to state exactly what has transpired and what has been agreed upon.
And Samuel, let me get your thought on this, please.
Yeah, the question I will ask is, if Chiroma went to France and France asked Chiroma to join Mr. Bia's government as the vice president, I am convinced that Chiroma is going to accept. The reason why Chiroma will accept is that the citizens of La République du Cameroon have failed Chiroma. How have they failed Chiroma? They failed Chiroma in the sense that for the 3 days ghost town that Chiroma called, those ghost towns were not effective, which was one of the tools Chiroma could have used to stand his grounds, that I will accept nothing but Paul Bia's going for me to assert my rightful position as the president of La République Cameroon. Two, if Chiroma has prepared an arms rebellion in La République, and he is sure that the fighters are there to confront the soldiers, the elite soldiers of Mr. Bia, Chiroma will show the middle finger to Macron. But if these two elements of strength are lacking, I bet all of us here, Chiroma will bow down to Macron and will accept the terms of continuation of l'accord de quoi de francophonie avec la France in La République. He will not disrespect the master. He will bow down in front of the master, because his hands are tied, and the people he was looking after to be his strength have failed him.
Do you think, I like that angle you bringing in here? Do you think that is what Barrister Alice Income was referring to last time when he was on this show, when he said the people need to bring Issa Tchiroma? Is that what you think she was referring to, by Tchiroma being failed by the people?
But Tchiroma has been failed by the people. For had it been the people stood by him to respect the 3 days ghost town which he called, then he could have used it as a springboard to say, as the people have respected this call of a 3 day ghost town for the first time, then I will extend it to 4 days. By the end of the day, I will extend it to 1 week, taking into consideration the momentum that arises from the ground. But because that first action failed, It therefore means the people were not serious to stand up for anything for themselves. Tchiroma alone cannot do it. Tchiroma can only do anything in that damn forsaken country with the support of the people. Once that support of the people is lacking, his hands are tied. And as an individual, he will go and get whatever thing he can get from the French, and is contented with to help with the rest. First of all, he has done that for the past 20 or so years by accepting the position of a minister in La Republic to feed himself. So if the people have proved to him that they cannot stand up for anything for themselves, and he has the opportunity to grab something out of that system for himself, he's going to go down that path.
Sebastian, let me get to you. This is very contentious because some people say, oh, Tchiroma is not giving direction. In other words, he is failing the people. They are not hearing from him. But again, if you look at Sama, he raises a very important point, and legitimate one, of course. The people are not measuring up to what I think Tchiroma was looking for. He has called for 2 ghost towns, and none of them was effective. The people didn't show up. The towns were full of life in Douala, in Yaoundé, except a few towns that really didn't matter. Not even in the north was ghost towns totally observed. Have they failed him?
I think the ghost town, like ghost towns, are not just called. You don't just call a ghost town when you don't have the tool to enforce it. We are succeeding in Ambazonia because when we call a ghost town, we have the tools to enforce those ghost towns. You cannot call a ghost town and people open their shops and everything is okay. In Ambazonia, when they call for ghost town, if you open your store, you know what is going to happen to you. So I think it is the people. The people have failed. The people have failed him because they're supposed to be really, really proactive and they're supposed to be supportive. Every time you call a ghost town, they're supposed to close their shops. They're supposed to shut their doors. But you know, our francophone brothers and sisters, they cannot stay hungry like we do. So I think, per my summary, the people they fail him.
So how does he revive interest in the people? What does he do?
I think Pemi Tchiroma should become vocal. He should, from day one, Tchiroma will speak and hear the sound of his table. That's what the people want. They want to see action. If I'm Tchiroma, after the conference or probably the meeting with the French president, I will come out and probably make a declaration. It is not everything that should be hidden under the table. It's diplomacy, but there are things that you need to come out there and tell people, because the Cameroonians want to hear what is going on. They want to know what is going on. After his meeting with the French president, if he comes out and probably make a declaration, call for people to go on the street or go to the street to protest, people may go because they see that something is cooking. But his silence is one of those things that is killing the people's momentum. He's not supposed to be silent. He's supposed to be not through the spokesperson Alizicom. He himself is supposed to make statement, as he did before.
To Honorable Chris, this is the problem with Issa Tchiroma having to meet with Emmanuel Macron. It's a two-edged sword. If he meets with Macron, the same Pan-Africanists say he is going there to take instructions, especially if something comes out of it. If something doesn't come out of it, the people say, yes, this is the kind of leader we want because he is standing up against the French. But as Sebastian has said, the likelihood is, Sama Thomas said, the likelihood is if he goes to France, an agreement will come out. How do the people look at that in a situation where he goes to France, comes up with a deal, and then go back to Cameroon, maybe become vice president, or maybe stays quiet and say, let's wait for the next election? Honorable Chris.
Yes, Comrade Chris, here's the point. When Tchiroma goes to Paris, he is going there to meet the puppet master. From time immemorial, from the time of independence or even before, the French have always had their interests in Africa at heart, particularly in France Afrique. So do you think Macron will, whether he invited him or however they arranged it, while he is with Tchiroma, carry out discussions in a manner that would relinquish French French rights or French privileges or whatever you want to call it, their penchant for resources in Africa? Do you think he's going to Macron is going to work along those lines? No, he is. They are going. The French are going to try to convince Chiroma to accept French conditions that are only beneficial to the French. In fact, they wouldn't even care about the people of Cameroon. They won't even care because they have never really cared about the people. All they will be thinking about is how to come and extract the resources and let everything, let the status quo remain. And the question is Chiroma going to accept that, knowing, having been in the government, and I would actually say an insider, a previous insider, who is now outside, coming, working for change? Is he going to accept everything that Macron is going to say? We don't know. We will just have to wait and see.
And what do you think? What is? I mean, if he goes there, you can expect something to happen there. But the question is, how would Cameroonians react if Sama can? No, you take that if you want to. Then Sama can come in.
Are you referring to? Are you referring to me?
Yes,
about
to you,
answering that
to
question?
you. How would
Yes.
Cameroonians take that?
Well, it all depends on the outcome of the meeting between Macron and Chiroma. If something comes out of it that the people of Cameroon think is beneficial to them, then they may encourage Chiroma to accept those conditions for the sake of call it peace. I don't know whether La Republic can ever have peace in situations like that. Or they could say no, we disagree with that, and if the population actually disagrees with what Macron agrees with Chiroma, that could backfire against Chiroma, and actually make matters worse for him and his party, and in fact for the whole country.
Sama, please.
Uh, before I come there, let me go to something that was happening in the early 90s when Frundi was detained, or not even detained, in La Republic of Cameroon. There was a day Frundi was stopped around Bonaberi. He came there and a van transporting money was stopped in the traffic. So Frundi went there to find out what was happening. When the population saw the scenario with the soldiers, they thought Frundi was arrested. So they sent information to Bamena that Frundi has been arrested in La Republic Cameroon. Comrade Chris, I was single-handedly bringing Mancon down to a halt, single-handedly to a halt, not waiting for Frundi's command. So, who are La Republican citizens waiting for to give them command to stand up for anything if they cannot stand up now for Chiroma? So, what am I saying here? Anything that Chiroma will go to France and discuss and agree with Macron, whether good or bad for the population, there is nothing that those cowards will do. Had it been there was anything they could have done, like after the proclamation of those results in October or whenever they were proclaimed, La Republic would not be enjoying a relative peace that is going on there till now. For the simple fact that they've forgotten that anything has happened and everybody has gone back to his business as usual. Anything that comes out of Paris between Macron and Tchiroma, nobody will move a step. They will accept it and just say, let it be.
There is this idea that is circulating out there to the effect that the French had earlier suggested to Tchiroma to just stay out, wait for 3 years, and Biya will be out, and then the presidency will be handed to him. And also another angle says the idea was for him to stay out, or I mean, take the position of vice president so that in the next 3 years, Biya is out and he takes over. Uh, Honorable Sebastian, what is your opinion there? I think you shared that thing with me.
Yeah, I read that from these La Republic activists, and that is what they were writing. And I don't know how true that is, but all that I don't think. If we look at the other side of the coin, I don't think Chiroma, what he's been saying, if not that politicians are people you cannot trust, then Chiroma will not accept anything that is proposed by Macron. Uh, these lawyers went and sat today. What they resolved was to sue the Republic government over the killings of protesters. How is that going to move La Republic? We've seen what has been happening with the legal system in Cameroon, in La Republic of Cameroon. Going to sue via, where are you going to sue him? They say you're going to sue him in an international court, or what? What is that going to happen? Or what after that? What is going to happen? You know. So I think Chiroma went to France, like I said, on the other side, we should look at the other side. He may not accept. Uh, If he is the Muslim he is not going to lie, or he is not going to, well, even though we know Chiroma is a pathetic liar, he is not going to fail Cameroonians this time. Like he said, again, Grace, what I'm proposing is you may want to bring Eric to this show and probably let's ask him some of these questions and see how he's going to defend them.
Eric will be on the show tomorrow exclusively, and we will ask him questions regarding what we are seeing and hearing out there. Uh, in the meantime, as we have suggested, some analysts have said this may be just the precursor to taking the case of Cameroon to the international court as far as human rights is concerned. That is why the issue of Anicet Ekane and prisoners came out very strongly at their press conference. So the idea is they are laying a groundwork to take Cameroon to the international court, considering that in Cameroon, Biya is the judge and he is the perpetrator. So they have nowhere to go in that country. Honorable Chris, what's your opinion there?
Well, the way I understand it, if it has to do with the International Court of Justice, the matter has to be brought up by a state. If it has to do with the International Criminal Court,
The International
uh,
Criminal Court can handle it.
y-
It
yes,
doesn't
they
have
can
to be
handle
brought
it.
up by
They
the
can,
state.
yes, it doesn't have to be a state. If it's the International Criminal Court, this particular legal group that Chiroma has formed or that are working for Chiroma, they could take it there. But you already know the double excuse me, you already know the double standards that the West place when it comes to the International Criminal Court. They decide who is to be taken there. They decide what the outcome of the case is going to be. Most of the time, that's what happens. Because if you look at International Criminal Court and you look at the people that they take there, there are some Western leaders that have committed, I don't want to name names, but they are well known, that have committed crimes against humanity, and nobody has ever taken them to those to that particular court. In the case of Bia, he will probably have uh, his puppet masters supporting him and blocking the the court from even trying him. So it's really doubtful that it will even happen.
What do you think, Sebastian?
Well, again, like I said, this thing of the court, first thing is, I don't think Cameroonians are going to be this patient to be waiting for the court. Or because things with the international court is not going to be something for 1 year. It's not going to be 2 years. I don't know if I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how it goes, but I don't think this thing is just going to completely key down the momentum that people had, because at the international level, it's going to take some time. And do you think it's going to happen before the 25th that Chiroma promised that he's going to be president? I think definitely no. So I don't think that one is going to be on the table. I mean, it may be, but I'm not sure.
Somehow, I see you nodding your head. What do you have on your mind?
It's a complete waste of time and resources. First of all, if you go to France to sue La Republique in like Tchiroma is struggling with his legal team to do, that they want to sue La Republique in France. Which court in France is going to admit a case to handle his own puppet master in La Republique to exchange him with what? So it's a complete waste of time. And even if they admit such a case in France, they will play you till 7 years is over. When Paul Biya might have died, then they bring the case that let us
Yeah.
handle this case and give and pass verdict. Verdict at that time is of what use? It's useless. If they are to go to the International Court of Justice, what are the mechanisms? Who is that person that's going to take you to the International Court or to the ICC? And how long is the ICC going to study the case before going through the phase of admissibility or before now bringing it to the plenary session? Is a complete waste of time. If Chiruma knows what is good for La Republic Cameroon, if La Republican citizens know what is good for them, the only way to go is the use of force. It is said that the same materials, the same weapon the dictator uses against you, you use that same weapon against the dictator. Failure to do so, go and sleep.
That is a very logical argument you make there. However, if Chiruma just want to, drag the time, considering that on the ground there is really no movement, no action, nothing is happening, and he wants to show that he is at least trying to do something, take it to court, sit and wait and say, well, we are waiting for the court until the thing dies a natural death. Why on the ground, nothing goes on the ground. That could be one route that Chiroma takes to vindicate himself. Sebastian.
Yeah, that's true. I think that is what I'm saying. But on the that's what I'm seeing on the negative side. On the positive side, I'm still positive that he's going to do something. But what I'm not assuring Cameroonians, because I'm not one of them. I'm an Amazonian. They are a group of people that are not working with Chiroma, that want to do exactly what Sama Thomas is saying. So they are not relying on Chiroma going the diplomatic way, doing this. They are a group of Cameroonians that want to do it their own way. So Cameroonians should have some hope that it's not all going to be about Chiroma. That is exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Conferences like this are supposed to raise money and do it the right way, and say we want to raise money and do it the right way. Not that we want to go to court. I mean, sue the Bia's government, Bia regime, whatsoever. That will not take them to anywhere. Raise money, come together, raise money, put funds together. A lot of you mentioned it the other day on one of your monologue, Comrade Chris. A lot of countries have done that and succeeded. Eritrea did it, South Sudan did it, and we're doing it all here in America. Let them come together, put money together, and do it the right way. And before you know, like some Thomas said, the only language that the public want to hear is the language they preach to. Force goes with force, repression goes with repression.
You see, let
They
me
can't.
remind you guys something. It surprises me. You guys remember when La République du Cameroon declared war against Amazonia between 2016 and 2018. The French elite with their people went round, raised money to fight Amazonia. But it comes to their own. I don't see them rallying around to say, let's raise money and free ourselves. Does that surprise you guys?
Well, they raised money then, particularly about the Bamili case.
Yeah.
The Bamili case raised money to put into the hands of Paul Biya to buy arms to suppress the people of Southern Cameroons, because most Bamilikis do their business in the Southern Cameroons. So, with the Southern Cameroons going away, their business and economic interest was threatened. So, for them to maintain that hegemony over the people of Southern Cameroons, they should protect it by raising funds to give to Biya to buy arms and fight the people of Southern Cameroons with. But now it's Tchiroma. Tchiroma is not a Bamileke. And Northerners are not patriotic enough to come up to say, let us raise money and do same as the Bamilikis did for the past 7 years to give to Biya. Let us raise it for ourselves and fight the system. They are not patriotic, and the kids are saying Tchiroma is not one of them. First of all, the sidelining of the Bamilikis in La Republic's politics is as a result of a Northerner Ahijo. They suffered a massacre as a result of the Northerners putting them into that situation. So why should we raise money now and support a Northerner to become the president of La Republic Cameroon? What will become of us if a Northerner takes over the presidency of La Republic Cameroon? We must not be fooling about ourselves. They themselves, they are still suspicious of each other, so the Bamilikis cannot do that. And the unpatriotic nature of the northern man will fail all of them. They are going nowhere until that day that they will be patriotic enough to say, let us raise money to buy arms and liberate ourselves. Then will they succeed.
Honorable Chris, your point on this.
Yes, my point on this, Comrade Chris, is that if we take a look at the days of the Maquisard, when France and the Ahijo, they were fighting the Bamileke, and there was that genocide over there. The Bamileke people, they sought refuge in Amazonia at the time, of course, southern Cameroons, and our people gave them refuge. And how quickly did they forget stuff like that? To me, I'm sorry to say it, but as far as the Southern Cameroons is concerned, the Bamileke people have not been nothing but traitors. Because when on November 30th, 2018, Paul Biya declared war on the Southern Cameroons. As we have already said, it was the Bamilekis that went around collecting money and giving to Biya. They were giving money to Biya. Now, Tchiroma has won the election. Are they going to collect money and give to Tchiroma to fight Biya? I don't know. So they are now caught in between a hard place, a proverbial hard place, and a rock. It's really difficult. And again, as we have already said, there is that mistrust between the Northerners and the Bamileke people. The Bamileke themselves know that it will be extremely difficult for a Bamileke person to ever be a president in that country. So they have to find a compromise somewhere if they want to save themselves, because the country already has gone down the drain.
Honorable Sebastian, your point before we open the phone lines.
I think again, like Comrade Chris had just said, the Bamilikis have been our enemies for the longest time. I don't know why. We thought they were supposed to join us to fight because they are closer to us and they do all their business in our land. We thought they were going to join us to probably fight this system and probably get our country and allow them to do their business. One other thing that I forgot that surfaced on the conference that was going through was this guy, this lawyer said he received a lot of calls from Cameroon ministers, Cameroon, like people of high portfolio, people of high positions that called were calling Issa Tchiroma or calling him to give his message to a message of congratulations. And he even said, uh, they said, felicitation, that's congratulations. We got your back any way you want it, militarily or anyhow, we got your back. So I am doubting if military and some governors, ministers called and said, we got your back. Why can they not go that way? Why are they waiting to go the legal way? I mean, we still have a lot of questions, a lot of questions to answer. And one other thing I'm trying to say is, let us wait for the 18th. They are taking our people to court on the 18th. After that, we will see. Probably they are working with Chiroma's agenda. Now that he's going to France, he may tell them that, okay, this is my agenda. This is what I had requested. If all this is done, I may go to the terms you want. That's food for thought.
All right, gentlemen, please stay put there. We are going to take a brief break. We will take a brief break, and when we get back, I will open the phone lines for those of you watching. It's going to be a brief broadcast tonight. Again, when I come back from break, we will open the phone lines to hear from you. So please stay tuned. I will be right back. I will be right back. Please, technicians, take over.
Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com.
Are you ready to unlock the power of AI? Mastering AI Tools, a practical guide to ChatGPT and OpenAI, is your ultimate gateway course to harnessing AI in your career or studies. Provided by Pascal Presentations LLC, a trusted name in cutting-edge education, this course empowers you with the skills needed to navigate and utilize AI effectively. Whether you're a professional looking to boost productivity, a student wanting to stay ahead, or an everyday person trying to upgrade your knowledge on this transformative technology, this course gives you hands-on experience and practical tools to make AI work for you. Don't wait for the future. Start mastering it today. Enroll now with Pascal Presentations LLC and take the first step towards transforming your potential with AI.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put out there. At this moment, we open the phone lines to hear what you have on your mind. And remember, before you call, shut down the volume of your television set and focus on your phone so that you do not have a sound delay as you call. Please, let's get the phone line on the screen, please. All right, so again, the phone line is right there on your screen. Go ahead and call. Let's hear what you have in mind about this meeting in France and what Issa Tchiroma may be having in mind to do next. The phone line is open, and while we wait for your calls, let me get back to my panel. Sama Thomas, if you can hear me. Ambazonians have really been, if you can bend your camera please, Ambazonians have really been looking up to La République du Cameroon citizens to do something. I think Ambazonians have been very, very disappointed with what they see going on in La République du Cameroon, their inability to confront their dictator, their inability to eject him. I think if Citizens of the Republic of Cameroon were the same as Ambazonians with their strategic location. Biya would have been out by now, isn't it?
Biya could have long been out even since 7 years ago, or more than 7 years, 7 years ago. But unfortunately, they cannot stand up for anything for themselves. That is why till today, like I used to say, what is killing La République du Cameroon is food. Had it been La République du Cameroon was like Chad, then they couldn't have been the sleeping dogs that they are. For if hunger hits you left, right, forward, backward, then you will sleep and think twice. You will get up the next morning. If there is anybody that you think is obstructing your way, you will confront that person. But unfortunately, you can get to the house of your neighbor. If you don't have food, he will give you garri to suck with cold water and drink. The day goes, you can be passing by and somebody in an off-license calls to come and get a bottle of 33 Expo. The day goes, so they cannot with their stomach being full always, or half full. Let me not say being full. With their stomach being half full, they can never and will never stand up for anything. I particularly, I am there is I am angry to the core seeing those people for all this while that the people of the Southern Cameroons have been fighting. Even when we're fighting for the sake of the entire nation, those people were always looking upon us. What have the people of Bamenda say? Will the people of Bamenda accept this? They have never asked themselves, what are we going to do with this situation that we find ourselves into? They were pointing but at us. And even till today, they will say, no, we are no longer part of your dirty politics. They are still looking behind. That we should come and salvage their situation.
Yeah.
Sorry for them. We will never come for their aid again. We are gone and gone for good. We will never look back again.
All right. Let's get to the phones.
They should stand up for themselves. If not, to hell with them.
All right. Let's get to the phones. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello, Comrade Chris. This is Maitre Nikin from the Netherlands.
Good to hear your voice, sir. What is on your mind?
Yeah, actually, I want to congratulate ABS and the panelists. Actually, this is my point, Comrade Chris. For more than 2 months right now, I'm still counting. ABS television and legal minds of the Southern Cameroon population have given free legal advice to the population of the Republic of Cameroon in regards what step to be taken next. But taken as the situation is, the people of the Republic of Cameroon are not like the Southern Cameroonians. These are people that they will not do anything. Yes, the Tchiroma mania came. Yes, Amazonians rallied in support of him, hoping and looking for that he was going to deliver. I think I'm one of the few who said Tchiroma will never deliver because until he assumes he's sworn as president, he's finally out of the country. Today secured a Gambian citizen or resident. Look, my fellow comrade, La Republic of Cameroon, Cameroonese are weak-minded people. They cannot do anything. They will grumble, talk, hit the table in front of the television. From Campton to, look, in broad daylight, Anise Ekane is assassinated. Not a single demonstration on the streets of Douala or Yaoundé. And then what are we talking about? That they will rise up one day and then chase Paul Biya out of the presidency. Or Ambazona should focus on, at least, it's not like we are beating around the bush again. We are on the march. Last few weeks, I think you had a very, very good broadcast which Ambazona came together. They were looking forward how we can come together and set set up a body that would champion our struggle to the final end. That is something we should focus and talk more about. But Republic Cameroon, look, there should be no more this talk about Tchiroma. Whatever happened across the Mungo, that should be their cup of tea, my fellow comrade and my dear comrade Chris, because we have deliberated so much about this maybe a magma that was going to break out in Republic Cameroon, sweep out everybody, and then changes come overnight. No, it will not happen, because these guys, to use a better that language, I would say they don't have balls. They don't have that heart to stand up and say, Biago. Since 20 months today, Bia took this out of office. Has there been any commission or any government? Nothing. Any slight changes? Nothing. What are they expecting from Paul Bia? Did he promise anything? Nothing. They are looking for like miracle will fall from the overseas or from the sky and then change everything overnight. Ambazonians, let's focus and then deliberate on how we move forward, come together, and then set up a team that will govern our country immediately. That window is open for us. That's what I have to say right now. And Mr. Mbariku, please get my number from Comrade. Please, I need to talk with you from behind the scene. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
All right, thank you for the call. Hello. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, thanks for the show.
Thank
Well,
you.
I just want to say that Paul Biya is, I don't know if he's 92 or 93 now. If he turns 99, he can still run for another term and steal the election and rig it, and there's nothing Cameroon will do about it. I just want you guys to understand this, and they knew it. They knew that Cameroon was not going to do anything, and that is why they did what they did, because they knew that this outcome, they knew of this eventuality. So that's number one. Cameroonians are not going to do anything about it. Number two, look, people are running away from France for freedom. The Sahel countries,
Yeah.
they are running away from France. And what Cameroon can do is to go to France for solution. There is no solution in France. There is nothing. Those are the people who are causing them, who are causing this problem. Those are the people who are deciding for them. And instead of running away to get a solution like some other countries are doing, they are running towards France. So what Cameroon should do, if they should have the guts to stand up. The solution is not going to come from France. It's going to come from them. They have to decide.
All
Cameroonian
right.
people stand up on their feet, yes.
Thank
So
you.
that is the solution. That is what they have to do.
Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Where are you
Good
calling
morning,
from?
sir.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
From Ground Zero. Okay. What is on your mind, sir?
Yeah, I first want to appreciate our boys on the ground and all the ambassadors. And I want to give special thanks to Sama Thomas. At least I've enjoyed him talking about what is happening there. Then the first thing I want to ask you people a question. When you find a relationship, what makes the relationship to keep on going? I think it's communication. So the people of Ground Zero if people talk, they have been disappointed on the fact that you are keeping us warm in Ground Zero because you are informing us. So these people, as we move day-to-day life, we hear what they are saying indirectly without questioning them. They needed Issa Tchiroma to always keep on putting a kind of communication that motivates the people to go ahead. He refused doing that. He doesn't communicate. He doesn't tell the people the next action. Look at when the Rilla died, the politician.
Yeah.
He just stood here. He did not give a verdict that is strong, that the people can stand on. So The people have been disappointed by him with his silence. That is the first thing. So his communication doesn't move people. Now, when it comes to the conference, like we will talk about it, this thing should not be surprising you people. Cameroon is not bilingual. We are merely pretending to hold on to that because even the schools here. So what happened there should not surprise you people. They keep on exposing themselves that they are not bilingual. Then secondly, how can you take a conference and host that conference in somebody's nation that is manipulating you people? How can you hold a conference like that? And then the conference is not translated. The other countries are not hearing what you are saying because they take this thing is being planned. It's not something that is accidental. It's being planned. And then I'm so disappointed with our brother Eris Kinge that was in the conference and he pretend also. This man has been like that since I've started listening from this man. He has been like that. He has never projected Ambazonia. So even today, he has refused us in the conference. And most of our people are not hearing anything. They are not hearing. And this is a problem. So there is nothing that is going to come out of that conference. Let me tell you one thing. Because the people will keep on to manipulate Issa Tchiroma. Because he has Sama Thomas, like he said it, he doesn't have any power on the ground. He doesn't have any changes on the ground. So what will the people now depend on to make the judgment? Nothing. So whatsoever they will propose to him, he will take.
All right.
He will take. So they will deceive in that conference. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the call. Okay. The phone line is still open. In the next 3 minutes, we will be calling this off. Greetings, Mr. Chris. Here in Cameroon, we have two types of people. Those who want change and those who don't want. Who don't want. I can tell the Bulu, Iwondo, and Betty in general want Cameroon to be like when this thing is not coherent. I can't get it. So let me move on to something else. This is somebody writing from ground zero. Oh no, that's not for this program. All right, in the absence of any other calls, I will give my panel the last word. Honorable Chris, if you are there, he is not there. Honorable Sebastian, your last word, sir.
Thanks for giving me this opportunity to give a last word. What I'm going to do is, or what I'm going to say is just to ask Cameroonians, our brothers from the other side of the Mongo, to be positive. Tchiroma has promised them that he is not going to let them down. So you guys just be positive. But one other thing is, you don't depend or count only on Tchiroma. You need to fight. That's how you are going to get your president, Issa Tchiroma, president-elect Tchiroma, to A2D. If you are waiting for Issa Tchiroma to do everything by himself, you will still stay there, eat your bread, eat your sardines, and whatever. But you need to fight and listen to what he says. If he asks you to go to the street, you need to abandon everything and go. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being part of the show. Honorable Sama, please.
Thank you, Comrade, for having me today. My advice to the people of La Cameroon is that Aniset Ekane was never a northerner. It's a Douala man. What did the people of Douala do when they heard of the assassination of Aniset Ekane? Was it Tchiroma that was going to come? Is it Tchiroma that will come and tell you to mourn Aniset Ekane, to protest against the assassination of Aniset Ekane? It is the problem of the people. The people must stand up to defend one of theirs before Tchiroma will come from behind to put more fuel into what is already going on. Tchiroma can only but write letters. Tchiroma can only but give directives. But like as a commander, if you give directives and people fail to take, there's nothing you can do. So, La Republican citizens, stand up for yourselves. Don't be waiting for an individual to give you command before you do what is right. All of you on the ground knows what is right. Stand up and correct what is wrong, and not waiting for Tchiroma. For the people of the Southern Cameroons, I say we should all, please, I'm pleading with you guys, we should all come together. There is a platform called Skahoof that is calling for all of us to come together and give a final push for this struggle and leave these people who cannot stand up for themselves and be free and allow them in their mess. This is my plea to all Southern Cameroonians. Please, we should forget this thing of Sama Thomas need to come and apologize to you before you come and join Sama Thomas or join other comrades to fight for the liberation of the Southern Cameroons. There is no apology I can give to anybody, because I've never killed your sister, I've never killed your child, I've never killed your brother or your father. The enemy that is killing all of us is Mr. Biya and La Republic Cameroon, and not any other Southern Cameroonian. Please, we should come together, forgive one another, and work as a united people.
Oh,
Thank you for having me come.
all right. Thank you, Comrade Sama. It was a pleasure having you and Sebastian and Honorable Chris on the show. Look forward to seeing you again. Let me get back to the phones. Hello.
Yeah, Chris. Good evening,
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
Belgium.
Belgium. Okay, what is on your mind, sir?
Yeah, with the case of Tchiroma, I got reliable information that Tchiroma doesn't want fight. That he said he will win the struggle through his own diplomacy way. I got a reliable information that he doesn't want, that he's fearing for the people who have died, that he doesn't want any fight, but he will win what he's looking for. So I don't know how he will manage to do it. I don't know. Without fight, I don't know if he will succeed.
We have
This
heard
is
that.
reliable information.
Yeah, no, you may be right. We have heard that. I think I've also heard it from reliable people. Let's hope that the alternative way he has works. Thank you for the call.
Okay.
Okay,
what is on your hands?
Hello.
The case of
Hello. You have to turn down the volume of your set before you call, please. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a night right here. It's been a long live broadcast from the press conference of Issa Tchiroma to News Talk. I want to thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow we're going to have a very, very exciting broadcast. I am hoping that Eric Chinje will join to give us deep insight into the conference that took place in Paris today. Thank you once more for joining. See you tomorrow, and good night.
Are you ready to unlock the power of AI? Mastering AI Tools, a practical guide to ChatGPT and OpenAI, is your ultimate gateway course to harnessing AI in your career or studies. Provided by Pascal Presentations LLC, a trusted name in cutting-edge education, this course empowers you with the skills needed to navigate and utilize AI effectively. Whether you're a professional looking to boost productivity, a student wanting to stay ahead, or an everyday person trying to upgrade your knowledge on this transformative technology, this course gives you hands-on experience and practical tools to make AI work for you. Don't wait for the future. Start mastering it today. Enroll now with Pascal Presentations LLC and take the first step towards transforming your potential with AI.